One Piece unboxing, and story about my Turducken experience on Thanksgiving.
Well, hello, my brothers and sisters of the Nerd Nation. I, as always, am Jim, here to bring you another video on, me opening shit up, and then maybe talking a little bit and reminiscing as we approach the Thanksgiving holiday. Maybe a little story time about that as well. So, without further ado, let's get right into this, shall we? So, we have, and actually I have to thank a few of you. I got some private messages as well as some comments a month or two ago about checking out this rightstuff.com. Stuff is spelled with one F though, so and everything else is spelled just like you would think, RIGHTSTUF.com. And they have great prices and a great selection of manga, anime, anything, collectibles, hats, statues, you name it, they have it. So certainly if you're looking for anything that related to that subject, that would be the place to take a look, because it is pretty much it's one of my primary go-to places right now. So let's see if we can dig into this sumbitch here and see if I can do it without cutting myself. I know one of these days, man, I'm going to be opening one of these up, and as I've already stabbed myself lightly in the leg, I know one of these days I'm going to be talking, and I'm going to be doing this, and all of a sudden I'll be like, it's going to be one of those type of deals. Can't help but think of like Home Alone, when the guy goes in, Harry, I think his name is, when he goes and he has to take his shoes off. He's down in the basement, because the tar is sticking to his socks and his shoes, and then he goes and he steps on that nail. He steps on it, and you see it go in like an inch or two, and then all of a sudden he's just like, and it's just like this high-pitched, blood-curdling, scream, which I would probably do as well. So let's see what we have in here. Now this is something that I'm pretty excited about, and certainly it's going to be kind of cool to put together. I actually have it's the Going Merry, and it is. I wanted to kind of start collecting some different pieces from One Piece. Obviously, it's something that I enjoy. Clearly, I wouldn't have made nearly 200 videos on it and collected all these volumes if it was just a passing fancy. But so this is supposed to be like a model, I believe, of the Going Merry. So it's kind of cool. I'm actually going to put it together this weekend with my son, and I was glad that it got here in time. So let's see if we got anything else in here. Looks like I'm digging down in my pants or something. I'm really not, trust me. Of course, I know you can't see from down here, from down below. So for all you know, I'm not wearing pants. I am, but, for all you know. All right, then, let's see what we got. Here we go. Okay, got to show these in order. So, any of you have been following along with these goofy videos that I do? It's some time ago, maybe a month or two ago, I ordered and had received the first 5 collections, DVD collections. There's 26 episodes on each one of One Piece. So I was set from about, to about maybe 130, something like that. And just been keeping my eyes open for them, because now that my whole family has been watching them, it's been a really cool experience. And there's nothing cooler, honestly, than being able to spend time with your family, whether it's your brothers and sisters, because you still live at home with your parents, and getting your whole family involved in something, or whether it's your wife, your girlfriend, your wife and your kids. In my case, it's my wife and my kids. And my kids are all boys. They're 13, 6, just about 7. It'll be 7 next month, and 22 months old, so almost 2 years old. And then, of course, my wife. And we're only on, episode 30, 35. We're in the Arlong Park arc in the anime. But it's so cool, because we sit down, and I got to get the nice TV upstairs, and we just all relax, and we sit down and we watch 3, 4, 5 episodes, and just to see the enjoyment on their face, the look of pure joy, and just laughing at some of the different jokes, and now my middle son Logan, the 6-year-old, will come downstairs a lot of times and go, oh hey, that's so and so, and he'll look and he'll see the volume that I'm reading at the time, and he's thumbing through them. So very, very cool stuff. But so we got. I get distracted over there very easily. Sort of got it's like squirrel, And so then we got number 7 over there with the lovely, now we know it's Nico Robin, which obviously was something that I was not aware of for, 40, 50 chapters. I just thought she was Miss All Sunday, because that's what it told me. And then we have volume number 8. So I'm definitely set now, I think, around until well, a little over maybe episode 200, so not like it's a ton. I understand that they're really far behind as far as the ones that are dubbed and everything else. But I got to also understand that to get a family of 5 together to actually watch episodes is few and far between. Even though we watch 3, 4, 5 when we do it, it's not as easy as you would think. So it isn't like we can just cruise through these and marathon them, right? But anyway, so with Thanksgiving, for those of you that celebrate it, or those of you that just enjoy, eating a lot of food on the fourth Thursday of November, it is here, it's a holiday here tomorrow, and so I'm gonna put this video up obviously today. But first of all, I just want to thank everybody obviously for your continued support. And truly has been a fun, magical journey and a nice creative outlet for me as well. Certainly, I've gotten a mite bit better at talking to a camera, talking to you essentially, than as I was, 3-4 months ago. So that's definitely a cool thing for me. And ultimately, I come from a big family. I'm the oldest of 6 kids. And there's a pretty decent age gap between me and the next of kin, but ultimately there's 3 brothers, 3 sisters, okay, and that's including me. So I have 2 younger brothers and 3 younger sisters. And about 4 years ago, I want to say it was like 2010, my wife and I decided we were going to take the plunge and be the idiots to invite everybody over for Thanksgiving. We only had 2 children at the time, and all my brothers and sisters, my sister-in-law was pregnant at the time, but there was no actual nieces or nephews, but everybody had a dog. And as many people do nowadays, all of them treated their dog like it was their kid. So you didn't go anywhere without your dog. So we had this, my wife and I lived in a townhouse. And it wasn't the biggest townhouse in the world. I mean, we did have a basement, an upper floor, and then a main floor, which was good. But, we told everybody, hey, we're going to do this Thanksgiving. Come on by. You're going to bring your dog, whatever, because everybody was asking about it. So there was a number of different roadblocks leading up to the whole occasion as it was. As bigger families can do, there was, some tension, some fighting, some arguing, some I'm not going to come, I'm not going to this. We wound up in the end getting just about everybody wrangled in and to show up for Thanksgiving. And my wife and I had decided that we were going to order a turducken. I had been seeing on football, on Sunday Night Football, of course, when John Madden was doing the I was going to say narrator, when he was the one, calling the games with Al Michaels there for a while, so I can't even think of the sportscaster. He always did the Thanksgiving, game that was either with Dallas or Detroit, or sometimes they'd play against each other. For a while, they just played against each other back in the day. But anyway, now they do 3-4 games on Thanksgiving. But he kept talking about this damn turducken, and it sounded so good, And John Madden was always like, "Oh yeah," and it's great. And what it is to give you an idea, if you don't know what it is it's a meat lover's dream. It is everything's deboned, okay? So it's a deboned chicken stuffed inside of a deboned duck, stuffed inside of a deboned turkey, each one being a little bit bigger. And then in between each layer of meaty goodness, there is whatever type of stuffing, of course, that you'd like to put in there, or dressing as it's called down south. And it's actually very, very good, right? But the way you hear John Madden explain it, I mean, it makes you hungry for it, And he's like, oh, and we're going to get the turducken, and boom, And so something I really wanted to do. So I go online, I order this turducken. It has to get, the shipping was almost as much as the damn turducken itself, because it has to be put in like a cold freezer pack thing and then overnighted, FedEx or what have you. But we were going to have this big family awesome Thanksgiving, so I order this turducken, right? The thing arrives, and I had ordered I think a 20-pound one or whatever. This thing arrives, and they sent me the wrong size. It was like a 10 or 12-pound one. So I immediately call, and it's like the day before Thanksgiving, so I call them up. There's not much they can do. They're going to send me out a replacement one. They're going to refund my money, but hey, sorry, you're fucked on Thanksgiving because, we screwed up on an order that was clearly a 20-pound one, and we sent you a 12-pounder. So we wind up going in, okay, fine, whatever, we'll make do. You still got to cook this thing for like 4 hours, 5 hours, just like a turkey. And it was our first real Thanksgiving that we had kind of done, I think, on that scale, because when all was said and done with brothers and sisters, and many of them were married, had boyfriends, all the dogs that were there, they weren't eating, but I don't know, I think there was like 14, 15 people. So my wife and I had our hands full, needless to say the least, and my wife is a saint. She's very patient. I am not. I'm the opposite of patient. I'm very anxiety-ridden when there's a lot of people around, and I'm a very difficult person to deal with because of that. So I'm already pissed off because we got this smaller turducken turducken, and we cook this thing up, and, it's ready. It's going to come out. I take it out, and it's in the big roasting pan, and there's all the juices dripping down, and it just smells heavenly because you got all these great meats with this, the dressing in between the stuffing, and I mean, it's just beautiful, right? And it's nice, too, because the duck is a little bit more of like a dark meat chicken. It's a little bit greasier, but it really kind of goes and helps contrast to the actual turkey, which can sometimes be a little bit drier depending on, the turkey's moisture, how you cook it, etc. So I get this thing out, and I got it on the roasting pan, and I put it up on the counter, And I'm gonna try, and after it cools for a few minutes, I put some foil over it just to kind of let it rest for, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. So then after that, I'm gonna come back, and I'm eager now to get this thing on the serving plate because we're running behind, and my little mental clock and my anxiety's kicking in, and we got all these people waiting to eat. Everybody's hungry, right? So I go, and I'm like, all right, my mom goes on the other side of the kitchen. She's like, you need some help with that, Jimmy? And I'm like, no, I'm fine. Don't worry about it. I got it. So I got these 2 spatulas, right? And I'm over here, and I get one end of this thing, and I get the other end of this thing. And mind you, this is only like the 12-pound one. So I'm thinking, this is going to be nothing, right? And I got to move it from the roasting pan 18 inches over to the damn serving plate, right? Well, I didn't think that, oh, you know what? Other than the legs and the wings of the turkey, there's no fucking bones in this thing. It's all just a big meat sandwich. I didn't think about that, right? Anxiety kicked in, to begin with, and I was just thinking, I gotta get it to the plate. So I go and I take this thing and I go to pick it up, and as I pick it up, it just goes, and it just breaks in half, right? And in half is actually saying it lightly. It was really more about like 3 or 4 largish pieces. And I immediately fucking flipped my shit. If I would have just went a little bit slower, or I would have accepted the help from my mother, we would have been able to get, 3 or 4 spatulas, spoons, whatever underneath it, and move it in one fell swoop. But I was in a hurry, and I needed to do now, and I get this thing up, and, So I'm mad, right? In my mind, Thanksgiving is now ruined, okay? Because not only did the people from the Cajun Crawfish Company fuck me and bring me and send me the smaller turducken, but now my turducken is falling apart. Doesn't matter if anybody is gonna like the damn thing because I'm angry now, So anyway, my wife comes over and, kind of calms me down and just tells me to sort of get away from the situation. Her and my mom go at it, and they get this thing on the plate. It winds up looking pretty good, like it's only into 2 pieces now, and everybody winds up having slices of it, and it was good. It was good. Everybody absolutely loved it. It was the first time for everyone there trying the turducken, so it was really kind of a neat thing because when you do a different kind of spin on Thanksgiving, I think that's really neat. It's not just the traditional turkey and cranberries, mashed potatoes, gravy. We did have all that stuff as the sides, but the turducken was very, very good. So anyone who's never tried one and does eat meat, of course, for the vegetarians out there, sorry, you're shit out of luck on this one. But for those that do eat meat and enjoy meat like myself, it's a great thing to do if you ever get a chance to have turducken. And you can even go to a local grocer and I think pay them to like debone a turkey, a chicken, and do it. But I think it's much more expensive that way. This way, I just ordered it from a company that does, it's like a family-owned company down in Louisiana, and the Cajun Crawfish Company, I think it was called. And, family-owned and everything. This thing is seasoned, and you can get, jambalaya or stuffing or sausage this. So it's really, really good. And but that's, kind of my just sort of quick in a nutshell goofy story. There were some other, funny occurrences and instances that did happen during that whole evening. But ultimately, I think the turducken thing was kind of funny, too, because, normally you get these nice slices of turkey, that you cut off that wind up being on the plate and it looks all nice and the presentation is wonderful. And this thing just looked like, it kind of looked like a train wreck, it kind of looked like maybe it had been run over or something, or like it had fallen out of the back of a car. But that, that was my fault. That was my fault completely for realizing that there was no actual carcass anymore, which is what would hold a turkey together. And as sick as it may sound, that is that's the bones, ultimately, the skeleton is what holds the thing together and certainly makes it easier to move even just a short distance. So definitely if I had just taken an extra few seconds and been patient, we would have had a much better presentation. But all in all, it still tasted very good and we still had a good Thanksgiving. So again, I just want to wish everyone out there happy Thanksgiving, a safe holiday, of course, if you're traveling. If you're drinking, obviously be smart, drink and don't drive. Stay wherever it is that you're going to be, and ultimately just have a happy Thanksgiving. Now, if you're someone that doesn't live here in the States and doesn't celebrate Thanksgiving, just eat a bunch of fucking food tomorrow because really there's a good excuse. I mean, you can get away with it. Fourth Thursday of every November, just get together with some people, family, friends, coworkers, whatever, and just eat until you can't move anymore. Then roll over and eat some more, And it's kind of funny because as I'm reading chapters of Toriko as well, I'm just like, oh God, I'm getting hungry. And then I'm building up to this Thanksgiving feast. So you may not see me for a couple of days because I may go into a food-induced coma. But thank you as always for watching. Again, God bless you and your family, and to you and yours. From me and my family to you and yours, a happy Thanksgiving. We'll catch you in the next one, nation.
Ooh, damn, that's making me really, really hungry.